Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, the 6th of February. Cheers. Just getting my motor running here, but what is the thing that I usually do in the morning? Get up, open the house, open the curtains, make some coffee, check my mail, and then when I feel like it, make a video. And today it's like to, sadly, to commemorate the passing away of another important figure in my life, musically. Mike Ratledge, the keyboardist and original member of Soft Machine, has passed away. He was a towering figure in the world of progressive rock, Canterbury School. Third, this album was a life changer for me. This is a groundbreaking piece of music. I heard it when it was released. It truly opened my mind even more than it was already regarding music and how to listen. To put into perspective for me, I first heard of Soft Machine by, of course, thumbing through the records, but I finally got to hear them. I think this came out in 1971. I can look this up right quick. I want to just talk about this. Back in the day, well, I think they still do it. I think. When the record labels would put out sampler albums. 1971 is when this one came out. 1971 is when this Columbia Records low price sampler was when I got to hear them. Again, being low income, I couldn't buy records regularly. So when this came out brand new for $1, I remember that about this. I was so excited because I saw all the artists that I would get to hear. This was when my introduction to Soft Machine, as well as Dreams, the band Dreams. Miles Davis is on here too. But Soft Machine and Dreams were the bands that really turned me on from this album. Here is my original copy of Third, my first purchase of Soft Machine. I've had this. Pardon me, folks. I'm so sorry how this happened in the morning, but it's just I just get on here. Maybe if I waited longer, it wouldn't happen. But I've had this since 1971. This is my original copy. Bought with my hard-earned money back then. My first job in high school as a busboy. And it's so ring-worn because that was before I really knew anything about records. I mean, really. I mean, I was fascinated with music and records since I was a little boy. But it wasn't until I was almost out of my teens that I started to really learn about taking care of your records. But this was also popular amongst my friends and with my older brother James. And so I took it everywhere, played it for everyone. I have a few different copies of it. This is a reissue, a music on vinyl reissue here. And then I have another one, a later issue on the CBS. Always loved that cover too. The other thing about Soft Machine was that they were groundbreaking. Now, thanks to my older brother James, and to the public library, I had already heard the music of Terry Riley before I heard Soft Machine. In C and Rainbow and Curved Air, I had already heard those. I loved them. So when I heard Out Bloody Rages for the first time, and that's the track that they give you an edit from on the different strokes. I recognized the Terry Riley thing right away, which I said, wow, here's a rock record incorporating Terry Riley's concepts. Fascinating, just fantastic. Mike Ratledge has been a direct influence on the way that I approach making music, in that he set an example for me through the originality of his writing. That was really what hit me. And then also his soloing, the way he put his organ through a distortion. And I think it was Jimi Hendrix that suggested to him to do that. I think it was. I have old recordings where I experimented with that with a synthesizer through a distortion pedal. Still have the tapes. That's one example. I'm looking at my Soft Machine records. They're out of order, but they're big in my collection. And as you know, the name Soft Machine is still going, but it was those first 4 albums in particular. Soft Machine 5, he's still in the band, and 6, right? I have to look him up. But it was the first 4. This one with the cover, Soft Machine Volume 2, which is just a classic to me. I'm not in any order here. I'm just ripping. What have I got here? If you don't know their music, it's some of the best. Robert Wyatt. Everyone talks about Robert Wyatt, of course. Here's another version of the Soft Machine. This one is clear vinyl. But Mike Ratledge, here we go. I'm not sure that this is my favorite Soft Machine, but as you see, Mike Ratledge at the top of the picture, that's the man, okay? He's the man that really made the things come together, in my opinion. David Allen, who went on to start Gong, was probably the impetus of them starting a group, period. But it was Mike Ratledge's leadership that made it happen. Here's another one in my collection. Rock Generation, Big. It was a series they put out. So there's some Soft Machine on here, as well as Mark Lehman 5 and Davy Graham. This is early recordings by the Soft Machine, demos, basically. And then here's is this live stuff? It's old, and it's a recent issue of some old stuff. I think this is on colored vinyl. Yeah, red. Leonardo Moon June Pavkovic, who runs the Moon June label, which is everything. It's inspired Moon and June, Soft Machine, one of their famous songs. He and I spoke through the internet. He's crushed because the band that is carrying on the Soft Machine name, those guys are managed by him, managed by Leonardo. So I know it's hitting him hard. I can't even get my words together. If you don't know the music of Soft Machine, check it out. Cheers again. The other thing I thought I would do today is leave you alone about my music, except to say, Alessandro, when you see this, if you see this, I appreciate how you share with me through Instagram when you get your records. He's in Canada, but he'll post little clips of his stereo playing the music, and it just sounds so good. And the latest clip that you sent is that you you picked up on one of my favorites on aspects, and that's the one he's playing in the clip. I'm so glad that you connect with the music. All of you people, it means a lot to me. It means a lot. But the Krautrock DVD has not reawakened, but it's like it's brought back to the surface how much that music in that time period is a part of my life. And I wanted to show a few more records. One is on CD, because this is one that's hard to get, and when you find it, it's expensive. But this is another classic space cosmic rock album from Germany, 70s, Gila. And this is a lovely Second Battle reissue on CD. But again, as you know, I love it. I love records. I'd love to have this on vinyl. Love those images from back in the day. Mind expanded. That's what it was. Mind expanded. A couple more here. I love that this band got named, was spoken about a little bit, because I don't think many people know about them. I'd like to find more of their records. Checkpoint Charlie. Yes, I know that's a really goofy looking cover. Rather unattractive. I think that was part of the deal. I don't speak German, so my understanding is that this band was kind of like Tonstein Scherben and Fleur de Cologne, where the text and the motivation behind what they were doing was in some ways political, anarchic, and for some of the bands. And so they were like trying to make a statement with their music, as well as trying to just make good music. But this, I got to know that this label, Schneeball, was started by Christian Richard of the band Embryo. And it was originally called April Records, and they had to change it. This is good jazzy. It's on the jazzier side of rock. But Checkpoint Charlie, another German band, probably haven't heard too much about. Let me keep going. This one involves folks like Klaus Schultz and Walter Westrup and Witthauser, Jürgen Dolez, Lord Krishna von Goloka, Sergius Golowin. So as you can see the way it's being presented, there's a spiritual slant to it. But what's so cool is it's real. You know, you can hear that this is what's really going on with this person, and it's enveloping. And this is one of those records that was released by ZYX, who apparently, according to Manny Neumeier of Guru Guru, these folks were rip-off artists. They did not get proper licenses for much of this music. That's according to Manny. But here in Omaha, I didn't know that. How am I to know when I see the records? When I see them, it's like, oh, I'm getting it, because they're so hard to get. You know, originals are almost impossible to find in this area. It was cool to find out that, or to make the connection again, because I would forget, that Michael Hoenig, who made this album, which is pretty collectible for people into early ambient synthesizer records, Michael Hoenig, Departure from the Northern Wasteland, he was in Agitation Free. And I guess I knew it, but never really made the strong realization about it. But what's interesting is in the documentary, when they talk to him, he doesn't talk about that album. He talks about this one. So I'm glad I got this, except one, Michael Hoenig. The Krautrock DVD is very informative. This is real good. if you like this music, the whole series, you'll learn a lot, because they speak to the, like I said, the musicians speak for themselves. A couple more records that are some of my favorite German rock albums from the 70s, Gomorrha. They have another album, I have it on CD. I'd love to have it. It's got like a burnt cigarette on the cover. But this one, it turned to see whose voice it was. The thing about some of these records, like The Message, and this one is like, when you hear it, it's like you'll hear these riffs, and it's like, that is a rock solid riff. Had that been played more often, or if played on the radio, it would be a classic. It would be. This has some classic hard rock riffs. This is real good. Gomorrha. This one is sliding over into jazz, as well as free jazz, avant-garde, as well as rock music. Heiner Goebbels and Alfred Harth. Another connection I've made through the internet. Alfred Harth, the horn player. This is fantastic. I think the name of the album is Indiana for Morgan. So that's the name of the album. You can just tell by the graphics that this will be an interesting listen, that it is. They use a lot of field recordings, parts where the music is very detailed and written out, and then it will just all of a sudden just break apart and then come back together. This is fantastic. If you've never heard Goebbels and Harth, seriously, this is some of the best German music you've probably never heard. Goebbels went on to record for a bunch of stuff on the ECM label, Modern Classical Music. Badass. Here's one that caused controversy because people thought the cover was showing a Nazi, and the band insisted it isn't. It's because they're German, and these are images they grew up with. The guy in a helmet, German oak. There's nothing political about this. This is stoned as fuck. This is a reissue. This is one to look up for. You can see this was made with little money. Look at the way the paste up of the images there, the information. Real low budget, but really good. This is no colored vinyl. Just good. You know, when you hear it, you'll know what I mean. I have this one by Gila Monster. It's a reissue, but this is I love this album personally. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, Gila. I just love it. Similar to Popol Vuh, this album in sound. And there's Florian Fricke. What am I saying? Well, duh, there he is. Another Garden of Delights. Great label. This was originally put out on Warner Brothers, a major label. I remember a friend of mine had a copy of this when we were younger. I coveted it because I could never find one. So I finally got a reissue. Highly recommend these records, people. And this is just an absolute. I don't remember if these guys were spoken to in the series of Krautrock. I'd have to check the other DVDs to see. If they weren't, they should have been. But I think they might have been touched upon. Mythos. This is, again, I keep running out of superlatives because I love this music so much. And this is a must-hear, in my opinion, if you think you like German rock, cosmic music. This is a must-hear. This is it. And their second album. The cover tells you, you know, we're going on a trip. We're going tripping, people. And this band turned into something really commercial afterwards. But it only makes sense if you're trying to stay afloat You got to keep the record companies happy. Two more. I had mentioned this yesterday. Exmagma. I used to have an original of this. They're worth a lot of money now. Here's a reissue. Fred Braceful in the middle. Drummer extraordinaire. Exmagma. And they have a few albums out. They're on stilts. It's very fitting. This album is cool. Really doesn't sound like anything else you've heard. That's what I also liked about the 70s leading up to punk, as I discovered progressive rock, Krautrock, and just avant-garde. It was a wide world of stuff going on besides Led Zeppelin. And then one more. I've probably shown this recently, I think. I've shown it again because it's just so good. Some of that German shit. My Solid Ground. This is dope shit, people. So I love it when I come across other VC members, and there are plenty of them. I know there are, actually. It's not that rare. I love it when I come across other videos where people are showing records like this that are not typical. I love that. Something else got pulled up here. I can just show it right quick. It was next to some of the records I wanted to play. Next to the Soft Machine is this Greek band. If you don't know, this band, Socrates Drank the Conium on the Wings. This is a reissue. Universal, who own everything now. The monopolization of everything, which I don't like, but there's nothing I can do about it. This is a wonderful reissue of this badass album. They made an album with Vangelis, Socrates, Phos. That's this band. This is more hard rocking, and there's a Greek identity to the music, the way that it moves rhythmically. You can tell it's Greek. That shit is awesome. Well, that's what I wanted to try to share with you today. I have gone ahead and I'm waiting to receive my next release on CDR. It's another one from the archives. I told you about it. I'm preparing it for release for Bandcamp Friday in March. How does that sound? But it's on its way. It's being manufactured. I hope that's of interest to some of you folks, because I'm striking again while the iron is hot. I can afford to do this right now, make these limited run CDs, so I'm doing it, okay? So we have another one coming. All right, I'll stop there, folks. Everyone take care.